Everyone has felt lost at some point. Not lost in the sense you've forgotten where you parked your car or taken the wrong turn home. I mean, like, genuinely lost. Waking up in the morning with no idea where your life is heading and if it's even moving at all. Looking around and feeling like everyone else has somehow been given a map that you never received and they're leaving you behind. I felt exactly like that. I'd spend so much time scrolling through social media and watching people my age build businesses, traveling the world, buying houses, getting married, graduating, and chasing their careers. And yet somehow every single person looked like they knew exactly what they were doing and had done for some time. At the same time, though, I could barely decide what I wanted to eat for dinner. It felt like life was a race that everyone else had started years before me. The weird thing is, though, I don't think I was actually behind. I just thought I was. And I think that's where a lot of us are today. We've confused not knowing our future with having no future at all. Somewhere along the way, we were told that by the time we're 20, 25, or 30, we should have ourselves figured out. We should know what career we want, where we want to live, and who we want to become, what success looks like. But nobody tells you that most people are quietly making it up as they go, and some people never really figure it out. Instead, we compare our behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel and wonder why we feel so lost. I don't think social media solely created this feeling, but I do think it amplified it. Because for the first time in history, we're comparing ourselves to thousands of people every single day. And the ones we do see are often the most extreme. And the people we compare ourselves to are usually the ones the algorithm decided were worth showing. Not because they're normal, but because they captured our attention. We compare ourselves with everyone, not just our neighbors, not just our classmates or friends, just everyone. There's always someone richer, smarter, funnier, more attractive, more successful, more disciplined, and more productive. And eventually, you stop asking what you actually want. You start asking why you aren't more like everyone else. And that's a dangerous place to live because once you start trying to become someone else, you slowly stop becoming yourself. For a long time, I thought I needed to find myself. People say all the time, you just need to find yourself. But what does that even mean? Where exactly are you supposed to look? I don't think there's a version of ourselves hiding somewhere, waiting to be discovered. I think we build ourselves. And for a while, I wasn't building anything. I was consuming, watching, comparing, thinking, and waiting. Waiting until I felt motivated, and waiting until I knew exactly what I wanted. Waiting until I felt ready. The problem is, life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Looking back now, I don't think I was lost because I lacked direction. I think I was lost because I lacked community. In my last video, I spoke about how culture has become fragmented and how we don't share the same experiences anymore. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that feeling lost often starts with feeling alone. Not physically alone, but socially. You can be surrounded by people and still feel like no one truly knows you, or that you don't belong anywhere. And I think belonging is one of the most underrated things in life, even something as simple as a small Discord community. When you belong somewhere, you naturally begin to move forward, not because somebody tells you to, but because you want to. For me, that started with Muay Thai, kickboxing. I didn't walk into my first class suddenly knowing who I was, and I wasn't transformed overnight. If anything, I felt even more out of place. But I kept going, and then I kept going again. Eventually, faces became familiar, conversations became easier, showing up became normal, and eventually, showing up became who I was. Months later, I started Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and the same thing happened all over again. Somewhere between being terrible at something and slowly getting a little bit better, I realized something had changed. I wasn't spending every day wondering who I wanted to become anymore. I was becoming someone without even noticing. And I think that's what people miss. You don't find yourself during moments of deep thinking. You find yourself while doing things, while learning, while failing, while meeting people, while becoming part of something bigger than yourself. Even this channel has become a part of that journey. When I uploaded my first video, I expected almost nobody to watch it. Now, every week I recognize usernames in the comments. Some of you have been here since the beginning. Some of you challenge my ideas. Some of you share your own experiences. And some of you recommend books I've never even heard of. It's strange because we've never met, but it still feels like a community. And I think that's helped me more than you probably realize. Not because I need validation, but because it reminds me that putting something meaningful into the world creates connections that endlessly consuming never could. Around a year ago, my life looked very different. I spent far too much time wondering what other people thought of me, whether I was successful enough, whether I was productive enough, moving quickly enough. Now I spend far more time asking a much simpler question. Did I do something today that I'm proud of? Sometimes that's filming a video, sometimes it's going to the gym, turning up to training when I don't really feel like it, and sometimes it's just going for a walk instead of sitting inside. They're all tiny things, but they stack slowly, almost invisibly. I think social media convinces us that life changes overnight. That one decision changes everything, one business, one relationship, one breakthrough. But real life isn't like that. Real life changes because of just ordinary Tuesdays, because you keep showing up. You don't have to lock in, you don't have to completely reinvent yourself by Monday morning. You just have to become 1% closer to the person you want to be, or even a fraction of a percent, just more than you were yesterday, and try again tomorrow. I used to think purpose and direction arrived first, that one day I'd wake up knowing exactly what I wanted to do with my life. Now I think purpose comes afterwards. It grows from the things you keep returning to, things you willingly do when nobody is watching, the things that leave you feeling just a little bit better than before. And for me, that's making these videos, training, reading, walking and learning, and most importantly, just living. Having conversations that actually made me think, will that still be true in 5 years? It might be, and it might not be. But for the first time, I'm okay with that. I don't think the goal is to have your whole life figured out. I think the goal is to trust yourself enough that when life changes, you'll figure it out, because it will change. The person I am today isn't the same person who planned this channel months ago. And hopefully, the person watching this in 5 years' time won't be the same person either. Growth almost demands that. I still don't know exactly where I'll end up. I don't know what this channel will become. I don't know what job I have or where I'll live. And I don't know what my life will look like 10 years from now. But that doesn't scare me anymore, because feeling lost wasn't the absence of answers, it was an absence of trust. I couldn't trust myself to solve problems that hadn't even happened yet. Now I do, not because I've become wiser or smarter or more successful, but because I've seen what happens when I keep showing up, keep moving, even if it's not directly forward. I've seen what slowly building something can do, whether that's learning a martial art, making videos, building friendships, or simply becoming the person I'm proud to be. Maybe we're all a little lost, but maybe that's exactly where we're supposed to start, that's a part of being human. But I don't think we're supposed to find ourselves. I think we're supposed to build ourselves slowly, one decision, one conversation, one class, one upload, one day at a time. And honestly, it feels like my journey has only just begun.